classroom, which was in a full-size classroom, will become the classroom for Mrs. Laws.
Okay. And then, this sounds minor, but I know my children are asking it, for any missed tests or homework. I mean, they expected when they come Tuesday, they have
Don't worry about that right now. That's the least of our worries right now.
But they're worried.
I know they're worried, but just tell them, that'll be taken care of. Take care of that. One more for me. Yes.
It may be minor, but like my son, I'm sure other people want to know. Can you give us an update on the fish and the crab?
Yes. I checked on them the very first moment I went back to Green Springs because I knew my librarian, Jean Stutzman, was worried. And I immediately went to them, and yes, they were alive. And Mrs. Cameron had a little fish in her area that made it through the fire. So that was remarkable. So our animals are alive. Yes, doing well. Thank you.
The Encore tour on Wednesday, is that still?
It's still on. We have bus schedule. We'll be sharing that with Black Bob.
I know you mentioned the cleanup and making sure the air is clean. Is there anybody that can kind of explain exactly how that's done to ensure, especially with all the smoke, that the air is going to be safe for the kids when they get back?
I don't think we have anybody here from our service center because I think they're over there working right now. But I've been told we will have a signed statement that says the air quality is good and that we can reoccupy the building. So that's, again, the most detail I have. They've had ozone machines in there to, again, clean and purify the air. Everything's wiped down and clean. If anything, it may smell clean, hopefully. But again, as some of you know, smoke it's hard to get out. But again, we're not going to occupy that place Tuesday. Hopefully, we're confident plans are progressing, and that's why we've said Tuesday morning. But if something were to happen, then we'd have to communicate, and I don't anticipate that. But we're not going back in until it's safe for everybody.
Can I address that just for a second? On the psychosomatic side of that, please don't tell we got quite a few asthma kids, don't tell them that they're going to have a hard time breathing. Or you might have a hard time breathing, go see the nurse right away. Please don't put that in their head, because psychosomatics will kick in with a kid and they'll say, oh, they said I'm going to have problems, so I'm going to have problems. So just normal day, it's going to be certified clean. We're going to be there to protect the kids if they're having health issues that truly are in terms of any kind of asthma situation. Thank you.
I love her. Kansas Jayhawk again.
Would there be any chance for the kids or the families to walk through the school before they actually get to go back, just to give them a state of mind that everything's safe?
Dr. Trauber said one of the hardest things in this right now is that it's like Grand Central Station, everybody going and doing, and very, very difficult right now. We were even saying Tuesday morning we are right up against the plan, and we're not going to get that building inspected. It's a weekend. I mean, we're trying to get this building inspected and so that we can reconstruct the school on a Monday. So unfortunately, no. And particularly the area that is damaged is going to be shut off, walled off, so that people can't get in there. So what you would see if you were allowed in on the regular parts, it's going to look like Green Springs. It really will look all the same. Please.
Can you point to what part is going to be walled off and where it's going to be shut out?
Well, again, we're working with the fire department, the fire marshal, and so forth, because they're very concerned that no matter what space you occupy, that you have proper egress out of the building should something happen at any other time. But again, these are the fire doors that closed, and we actually, I think, at the last I knew, are going to construct temporary wall that there's a wall there. You can't even, I want to get through this door and see what it looks like, but it would be at both ends there. Now, at some point, we think we're going to gain all of this space back because, again, other than being dirty, it's really not damaged. And so at that point, there will be a wall constructed so that you physically couldn't come into this 200 side where the damage is. But we could occupy that southeast corner. So again, we're pretty positive that that's what's going to happen right now. You've asked one question.
Do you know when the 3rd and 2nd grade pod is going to reopen?
Oh, the damaged areas? My guess at this point right now, it's going to be all spring.
Okay.
Again, we're going to have to bring a crane in, lift out the old structural steel, place a new one. It's going to have to be re-roofed. All of the interior of that classroom, the walls were burned. It's all going to have to be redone, a brand new classroom.
I'm just going to put a little exclamation mark on the question about going up to the school. I know there's a lot of interest in talking to Sergeant Wesley, who heads up our security resource officers. If we cannot be driving by and visiting, we've got lots of cleaning trucks. Our timeline's so tight to try and be ready for Kids Tuesday. I know there's a lot of interest, but even the traffic and in the parking lot, we have had neighborhood people go through the building, and that's just very uncomfortable to us. So I know there's a lot of curiosity, and once it's safe and kids are back, you know, you guys will get back on your parent visiting routine. But if we can stay away from the building, just so our trucks and our service center and the cleaning crew can come and go, we can stay on schedule.
As of yesterday, if you went through, your clothes still smelled like it. It was that strong still. Please.
I'm a KU fan, sorry I'm not wearing my
You're
sweatshirt.
good though, thank you.
You felt the aura. One of the questions that I have, as you're doing construction on the building, is that going to be happening during school hours? So you've got all these adults coming in when kids are trying to learn. What are you doing with that?
Good question, but actually our school district is pretty good at that. Again, if we section off this part of the building, there are outside doors, and that's what we will use for construction entrance once they are working on these buildings. But just as an example, we just added on to all 4 high schools during the school year. And we're very good that we make sure that there's no disruption, no chance of any safety issues for kids. But we've added on to elementaries before during a school year. So again, we feel very confident we can make this construction work and not disrupt the rest of Green Springs. Good question. Please.
My question is pertaining to hers. Is that going to cause a traffic issue? Because we already have, it's always bad in the afternoons. Are the construction vehicles going to be constantly in circle drive?
Yeah, please believe me, we don't want traffic issues either, because those we own those, and so we'll do everything we can to mobilize a construction site that won't disrupt the traffic for Green Springs, and we can require that of the people working on the building. Question.
In light of the budgetary concerns, and you mentioned there may be insurance questions, is the school separately insured, or is the district self-insured, or is there actually an insurance policy that will cover the expenses of rebuilding and cleaning? And second issue, are sprinklers required by Olathe code in these buildings? And then if the insurance policy, or whatever, if the insurance pays for repair, does that repair require a bringing up to code, a current code that wasn't in place when the school was built?
There's about 3 questions in one. The district is very much insured, not self-insured, but we are insured by a company. They've been on site immediately, might have been even that first day. There is a pretty good deductible, though, that we are going to have to come up with, which, you know, is again something we're going to have to face. The building is up to code. We were not in violation of anything by not having sprinklers, because again, Fire Marshal, the City of Olathe Fire Department would not let us occupy that building. I don't believe, though, that in repairing the building that there will be dollars from the insurance company to sprinkler it, or that there would be that requirement. Again, we'd have to come back up to code that would allow us to occupy that building, and that's determined again by the Fire Marshal and the Olathe Police or Fire Department. But good questions, thank you. Way in the back.
Hi guys, I know parents, I mean, you're worried about things, but we got a chance to go in yesterday, and I don't want to speak out of turn here, but if the sprinklers been on, the entire building would have been wet. Everything would have been damaged. You know, as it was, just that office right outside the third grade classrooms was all that was destroyed. I mean, it was amazing to see. The building was, I mean, it was so nice to walk in and see. My classroom wasn't burned. It was smoke damaged. And it held. Those walls, the concrete walls, did what they were supposed to do. It was amazing. In regards to the building, I've been there since the beginning. They built a gym right next to my classroom, and we still went on. They built the back end of the building when I'd been moved down by the band room, and we could still go on. So the day goes on as normal. I mean, the kids really are resilient to noise.
Thank you. She's my other new best friend. Please.
I have a question regarding security.
far as, since they're going to be doing construction at this end and going in and out, will there, I mean, normally we have, you know, people have to be buzzed in and out to get into the building during the day. Will those areas be monitored just to make sure that it's just construction and that nobody else can get in there?
Very much so, yeah. Again, as much as you want it to be safe and secure and quiet and all that, that's exactly what we want as well. And so we'll work very hard at that. Good question. Please.
I guess, will you go over that with your children? I mean, I guess I'll look to you, because I know Lexi's biggest fear right now is this person going to come back? That's what we're struggling with. Is the fire, we're past it, is this person gonna come back when I'm there and try to hurt me? And you try to sever
Yeah,
that.
sorry, I should have included that. We are going to start